How's it going, guys? Just going to make a little bit of a video here today. Between Brian and I and some of our other social media sites and profiles and pages, we have a pretty good following, and I thought that we would try to start giving back a little bit and helping people out that might be in the same situation that we were in. For years, I've done a bunch of different careers. You can see I'm a little gray in the beard. So I've done a few careers over the years that have kind of fatigued my eyes a little bit. You can see I'm wearing glasses today. So I drove for a courier and for about 10 years. Always made sure I wore sunglasses because, the fatigue on my eyes at the end of the day, I was squinting, my eyes were red and dry, and then I'd go to drive at night and my eyes were fatigued, and I felt that it was, I had, what do they call that vision where you don't like headlights at night, but what it was is that my eyes were fatigued. So then I switched from being a courier to being a mechanic, where I'm under a hoist all day long. I'm under a truck, I was a big rig mechanic and a automotive mechanic myself. And so I never had any fatigue because I wasn't under, bright lights. I was in the dark using flashlights half the time, laying on my back on a creeper and stuff under big rigs. So it didn't bother me anymore. The fatigue from my eyes, I could drive at night. I had no problem driving, long trips across the country. But when I went back to being in an office environment, and I can say a lot of you people, a lot of you guys are in that kind of environment where you're under fluorescent lights all day long. You're in a bright environment in front of screens, in front of phones, gaming systems, movies. So I found myself back in a sales position where I'm in front of these devices all day long. And what I found was I was getting headaches. I was starting to have those problems again, and I couldn't figure out why it was until I went and got some blue filter glasses. And it's not an ad. These guys aren't paying me for this. I don't have a prescription for my eyes. So the hardest thing was I couldn't go to a doctor or an optometrist. I could, but I know somebody that recently went to an optometrist, and they paid over $300 for a pair of glasses to do the same thing that these things did. Now, this is a brand that I used. I think it's called Cyxus. They're not, like I said, they're not paying me. They don't even know I'm doing this video. But I thought I would help some of you guys out that might be suffering from a little bit of fatigue. I wasn't able to come home and watch a movie with the kids. I couldn't even look at the TV. My eyes were so exhausted and tired until I started using these guys. This cost me about $35 shipped to my door. They're fashionable. They're light. The first thing is that they don't have a prescription. You can't notice that when you're looking through these things. You can't notice any difference in your vision, which is great. You do notice that there's no more fatigue. I don't have to wear them while I'm driving. I just wear them all day long in those situations where my eyes are going to be tired all day long. Like looking at screens, looking at my phone. If you're on your phone, you might be watching this on a phone. You might be watching it on a computer. Chances are you're not watching it in person. So all of those devices give off a blue light. It's an unnatural light that makes your eyes exhausted and tired and fatigued. And that results in not enjoying the time that you have outside of work. If you're looking at screens all day long, you get home and you can't even watch a movie or play a video game with your kids, or you can't drive home because it's dark because it's wintertime now. So your eyes are getting fatigued. And it's not because of the headlights. It's because everything you do during that day, you're looking at those screens all day long. So like I said, you might be lucky and you might have a prescription. That's the lucky thing, is that you can get these things covered by your medical plan, but they're $200, $300, $400. I know somebody that just paid over $300 for the same thing that these things do for $35. It got rid of my headaches. It got rid of my fatigue from the blue filter. It's got a little bit of glare that you can see. I'm just looking at, I've got my phone in front of me and my tablet behind it. So you have a little bit of a reflection. You can see that there. But looking through them, there's no glare. There's no issues. It's light. It's not sliding down your nose all the time. Just a little bit of a review, I guess, on these guys. Like I said, Cyxus, I believe they're called. Look into something like this. They're cheap, they're fashionable, and they work. That's the nice thing about it, is I have no more headaches anymore from looking at my screen all day long. Like I said, I went from being a mechanic and a driver for years and years into a sales atmosphere with fluorescent lighting, and it was brutal. Headaches within, probably a few days of when I started in that position. So a lot of you are under those fluorescent lights in front of screens all day long. It's so screen heavy these days. Do yourself a favor, get a pair of glasses, even like this. If you have to go to a doctor, you can do that. But like I said, $35 for these guys, probably $35 shipped There's a ton of different styles. If you want something a little bit bigger, a little bit smaller, rounder, whatever you want, at least look into it. Hopefully these guys aren't mad at me for making this video, but I thought I would share it with you. These are the blue filtering lenses, and it saved me a lot of fatigue from my eyes. I can drive now at night. I can, play video games with the kids, watch a movie, and not have to worry about my eyes being fatigued. So this is probably going to go on our social media, on Murphy Boy Productions. I'm probably going to go on our YouTube channel as well, just to help you guys out. We're going to do a little bit more product reviews. We're all consumers. So if you can get a little bit of advice, maybe you didn't know this, your eyes were tired from, it's not the driving, it's not the headlights, it's what you do during the day. So maybe a little bit of advice, or not even advice, just a little bit of a review recommendation from somebody like me. I'm not a doctor, I'm not a scientist, and I'm not getting paid to do these things, but maybe it helps you out. Thanks, guys.